Today we're making the internet's most viral recipes from YouTube's greatest chefs. From expert level sandwiches all the way up to culinary creations that have somehow garnered hundreds of millions of views, we'll be ranking each to find out which internet chef reigns supreme. Let's get started. And we'll be starting off with Joshua Weissman's 13 million view Popeye's chicken sandwich video, but keep in mind the views will be getting progressively higher as this video goes on. Not gonna lie, this sandwich looks exquisite. He starts by marinating the chicken in a buttermilk brine, pressing all that flavor in, and then we'll fry
for about 6 to 10 minutes or until golden brown and cooked through.
Time for the sauce. Whoa, we're adding black garlic. You know, this is where Joshua Weissman really stands out. He adds these details that are just so unique, but I think I know everything we need to know. Let's make it. Now, personally, I am more of a Chick-fil-A guy over a Popeyes guy, so I'm gonna be brutally honest with this review. To the buttermilk, we'll add salt, chili powder, and garlic powder. Whisk it up, and in with the chicken thighs. And by the power of movie magic, it has been 12 hours. This is what they look like, and they definitely feel a bit more firm. We have our seasoned flour. I'll just ladle in some of that marinade chicken in. We're gonna get all sides, pushing in all that flavor. Ooh, looking good. As you can see, there is just tons of texture on there. Time to fry. Just check that out. We have the toasted bun, some of that black garlic sauce, pickles that we made sure to cut the long way, that beautifully crispy fried chicken. And I'm not gonna lie, guys, that right there is a stunning looking sandwich. Now, it should be a surprise to absolutely no one that the homemade version looks way better than the fast food, but of course what matters most is the taste. Popeye's version, chicken's actually very flavorful, but I still prefer Chick-fil-A. Let's see if we can hear a crunch. Wow, that right there is a sandwich. It is just ridiculously crunchy, and honestly, it's the sauce for me. I mean, it just takes it completely over the top. I have to say, we are starting very hot. This sandwich right here deserves a name. And next up, we have the OG Malcolm Reed, probably the first person I started watching on YouTube. 13 million views on his tomahawk ribeye. Interesting, so he's actually using grill grates. We did do a video on this. I personally am not a huge fan. Nice sear on both sides. Time to slice. That is a big boy steak. Let's give it a shot. And we're starting off with this absolute stomper of a ribeye. This boy is thick. As you can see, just beautiful marbling. And just like Malcolm said, we're starting with a layer of a fine grain rub. Get all sides. This is a huge steak that can take a lot of seasoning. Next, we'll hit it with a slightly more coarse seasoning. And as you can see, I'm actually using my very own rubs, which you can now find in retailers across America. Let's get it on the grill. Start by spraying down those grill grates, and on with the steak we go. And it's been a couple minutes. We'll give it a twist and press down. Let's flip and see what we got. Not gonna lie, those are some beautiful looking grill marks. Now we'll finish cooking over lower heat on the smoker. And all those buttery flavors in our drip tray down below. The butter is fully melted. Now we'll just baste. We've reached 125, time to come off. And we're left with an absolutely stunning looking steak. Start by taking this right off the bone. Even though we didn't use a reverse sear method and went more traditional, the gray band is very minimal and it looks fantastic. And I'll just grab a slice right from that cap. Seasoned very well. You get those buttery, herby flavors in there. This is very close to a 10 out of 10 steak. The only thing I'm missing is a little more crust development. And I think if we didn't use the grill grates, we might have got there. For that reason, we are not quite in the S or A territory, but a very solid B. You knew it was coming. Uncle Roger's egg fried rice. Let's check it out. All right, chopping up all of our vegetables. Looks pretty standard. Now he's gonna tell us how much rice to add.
Uncle Roger never measure because Asian people, when we cook, we don't measure, we just use feeling.
Okay, that is not very helpful.
Uncle Roger's white powder of choice, MSG.
And there it is. I do agree with this man. MSG is a pretty amazing ingredient. Time to see how it stacks up. Okay, very minimal measuring involved with this recipe. Let's see how this goes. Start with the oil, in with the garlic and shallots. 1 egg in, followed by 1 egg yolk for that cholesterol flavor.
Uncle Roger say cholesterol is full of flavor.
Now we'll add in our handfuls of rice. Not sure how much to add, but this feels about right.
We don't measure, we just use feeling.
Adding in the soy sauce, sesame oil going in, and time for Uncle Roger's most important ingredient, the MSG.
MSG is salt on crack.
Green onion in, and the chilies. Not gonna lie, this is looking pretty good right now. If there's one person that should put out the perfect egg fried rice, it is Uncle Roger, so hopes are very high. I don't think I added enough MSG or soy sauce, like it needs to be a little saltier. It would have been very helpful to have the measurements listed. I get it though, a lot of people cook based on their own intuition. Clearly, I don't quite have it, but what it means is that this is a C. Next up, we have the one and only Nick Giovani, 19 million views on his Parmesan wheel pasta. This man is just so extra. Well, it appears as though he finally got the cheese wheel in half. It's a good start. From there, it looks like he's making his own pasta. Okay, looks like we have an Alfredo sauce. We have wine that is on fire inside of the cheese wheel.
Just listen to that pasta sound.
Come on, Nick. There's children watching. Well, we've reached a turning point in this video. I either buy an extremely expensive wheel of Parmesan cheese, or I just use a regular bowl. I feel like the only true way to decide is to ask Nick.
Hey, Max.
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
Good, I'm in the kitchen, aren't we all?
Always. So I have a question. I am recreating your Parmesan pasta wheel pasta dish. Is it totally necessary that I use the whole wheel?
Max. Come on, I think you know the answer to this already.
It's like $2,000.
Why are you calling me, Max? I'm gonna lay out two options for you, Max. You ready? Option one is you buy the wheel. Don't care where you get it, you just gotta figure out the wheel, okay?
Okay.
But if you can't do that, number two is just I want you to go into the settings of your phone.
Yeah.
And just take out my photo.
You're killing me.
Get the wheel.
I'll see what I can do. I'll see what I can do.
I'm only doing this because I love you, Max.
Bye.
A few moments later.
I called about a whole wheel of cheese. All right. I don't really spend money on nice things, so $1,000 on cheese. This hurts right now. If you're watching this video, please just let me know that you're watching. Please, in the comments, like, are you watching? Is anybody watching? So the first thing we need to do is, of course, make the bowl. So I'm gonna actually slice it off, or try to slice it off and make it flat. Unfortunately, I have a tuna slicer, which should be perfect for the job. Wow, look at that Parmesan. Okay, we'll retire the tuna slicer and move on to an oyster shucker to carve out this bowl. I really don't teach this one in school, how to break down $1,000 Parmesan pasta bowl.
Wait, how much was that?
This is $1,000. Let that sink in. I think it's time to retire the oyster shucker. Moving on to a spoon. I have for sure gotten my cheese workout done for the day. I'm sweating. Bit of white wine in, and we'll light it on fire.
Max, is that flamethrower really necessary?
Sophia, few things in this world are necessary. And this is not one, but we're doing it anyway. We sort of turned it into that soupy sauce that Nick was referring to. Pasta in. Now we'll add that thick cream sauce.
Thick cream sauce.
And we'll mix that up. It smells ridiculously good right now. Finish it off with chives. And I'm not gonna lie, this feels like a ridiculous move here, but Nick says to finish it off with more freshly grated Parmesan right on top. Time to give this a taste. It is just ridiculous what I'm looking at right now, but I can't lie, that pasta is absolutely fire. I mean, homemade Alfredo sauce in a cheese wheel. This right here, honestly, deserves to be S tier, but Nick, because you forced me to buy a $1,000 cheese wheel, I'm giving it an A. There's also no meat in here, which probably would have bumped it up.
It's so good. The Parmesan is super fresh.
You don't say, Kyle. Next up, with a jaw-dropping 22 million views, Guga's most viewed long-form video ever, can dry age save a $1 steak? Let's find out. Or should I say, let's do it.
So let's do it.
That right there is pretty much the world's worst steak. Grilled it up with that amazing Guga montage. All right, they're going for the taste, and it's not looking good. Dry age did not save the $1 steak, but will it save mine? This right here is a whole brisket that I actually dry brined, then dry aged. And while not exactly an eye round, it is pretty similar in that it's typically quite tough when cooked to medium rare. But will dry aging save it? And what I'm gonna do is actually take a piece out of this flat section right here and just cut ourselves a nice steak. The color on this beef is just stunning. Like all dry aged steaks, I'll remove that outer layer, the pellicle, which is not really edible. And I'll also just remove some of this fat on top. And what we're calling our $1 steak is all trimmed up. Now, dry aging does drastically improve tenderness, so I sort of have high hopes. I'll just do a little bit of salt and black pepper. oil, and in with the steak. We'll flip. Crust is starting to look good. Now we butter baste. All right, I'm not gonna lie, this took forever to cook. It is extremely thick at this point, but I think it's done. We've let it rest and time to slice against the grain. Keeping these slices pretty thin, so hopefully it'll stay tender. I mean, talk about juicy. Take a little slice here of the fat and the point, and time for the moment of truth. Can dry age save this brisket? The answer, no, it can't. That is still extremely chewy. The flavor is superb, but this is just a cut you have to cook low and slow. But I have to say, Guga, that video is incredible. Someone's gotta do the meat myth busting, but in terms of this dish, I gotta give it an F. Next up, the one and only Binging with Babish. Let's see what his most viewed video is. King size ultra Krabby Patty Supreme with the works, double batter fried on a stick. All right, a pretty nice looking sauce here. Pretty decent looking colors on those patties. Assembling this monstrosity, fresh lettuce and vegetables in there. That's psycho, but I kinda like it.
The batter should have about the consistency of paint, but that's assuming that you'd actually recreate this, which I really hope that you're not.
Oh, we are. Oil down, beef down, and smash. Season her up, and do the next one. That looks amazing. Cheese down on both, and these smash burgers are done. Bun, double smash, tomato, seasoned tomato. We definitely need that extra sodium. Pickles, onion, special sauce on bun, bun down, double smash, lettuce, tomato, seasoned tomato, pickles, onion, sauce the bun, and top bun. Wait, I almost forgot, gotta add the bacon. That right there is a burger, but unfortunately, we're not done yet. And we'll add our skewers. Now we will batter this burger and into the fryer. Add oil over the top, try and speed it up. Time for the second batter. This is working surprisingly well, I'm not gonna lie. The monstrosity of a Krabby Patty is officially done. Really nice crunch, but I gotta see that inside. I think we nailed this. I am just in shock by how well this thing held together. Time to taste. I don't know if I needed this in my diet right now, but it does taste pretty good. Part of me wants to rank this very high because I'm the kind of guy that enjoys a crazy monstrosity of a burger, but at the same time, practically, I don't believe the deep frying actually made this any better. It's getting a B. The one and only Gordon Ramsay is next. This 46 million view pork belly better be perfection. Looks like he's scoring it for better rendering, and it looks like he's adding a bunch of herbs, vegetables, and spices. I'm a little skeptical if this is gonna end up being crispy enough, but let's see. That doesn't look very crispy.
It looks stunning.
Sorry to say, that does not look stunning to me. Come on, Gordon. What is this? 50 million views. Now, this is a guy who's hated on many of my videos.
Max! Come on, Max! What are you doing? Dude, you've got issues.
So I'm gonna be ruthless. We're starting here with a beautiful piece of Berkshire pork belly. Super high quality stuff. And now we'll just get the other side, just like Gordon Ramsay would do. I'd like to think that Gordon would be proud of me in this moment.
That should be served at divorce proceedings, you donut.
Whole bunch of salt over the top, getting it in all those crevices. We'll get our pan hot, olive oil, fennel, garlic, fennel seeds, the star anise, and crushed cardamom. Bay leaves. Now I'll move this all to the side and we'll sear the pork. Now that we've gotten some color, we'll flip, deglaze with wine, in with the stock. Now into the oven to roast. 2.5 hours is up and our pork belly should be done. Remove this for now. Now, I don't know what they're doing over there in England, but now we're adding what Gordon's calling a teaspoon of mustard. Does that look like a teaspoon to you?
A nice teaspoon of mustard.
And in we go. And we'll just let this all cook down. It's thickened up nicely, this should be good. So I followed his recipe exactly, and honestly, mine looks crispier than his in some parts. But as you can see, the crispiness is very uneven, and on some of the other parts, it's still very soft. Let's slice into it. As expected, that right there is juicy. And we'll finish by adding some of that sauce right over the top. And we'll go for a bite. That skin is inedible. It's like gum. By far the most important part of skin on pork belly is that skin, and it's not rendered and it's not crispy. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but Gordon Ramsay's most viewed dish ever deserves a D. And the only reason it's not an F is because that sauce was pretty good. Next up with 300 million views, we have Max the Meat. Oh wait. That's me here. We have a video that has 300 million views. Does it deserve 300 million views? Absolutely not. My highest viewed video ever, sadly, is this one right here. Here we go. Yum. This song just brings back memories, man. Did those hot dogs just turn into a giant bologna? God, this guy's good. Couldn't even make homemade chili for this. It is absolutely mind-blowing to me how this is the video that got the views that it did. But either way, time to make it. We have all of our ingredients sourced, including a jumbo bologna. But I just realized something. Nobody should have to experience that jumbo chili cheese dog more than once. Not me, not you. We're giving it an F and we're moving on. And we have made it to some truly preposterous view numbers. Bayashi TV with 430 million views. A Wagyu accordion. Slicing one way, flip and slicing the other, deep frying, little egg yolk on top. Kind of blows my mind that more than the entire US population has watched that particular video, so let's make it. For the Wagyu, we have a very special steak that some of you OGs may remember. This was the cognac and fresh truffle dry age experiment from literally years ago. It's been in the freezer and I've been saving it for a very special moment. Just like that, if all went well, we should have a beautiful accordion and time to deep fry some Wagyu. Only took a couple minutes, but it looks like that Wagyu's done. We'll hit it with the salt, raw egg yolk, because there's nothing like some 10 p.m. salmonella. Break that up over the top, and we'll just finish with some Japanese steak sauce. And I think I'm just gonna go right in for a bite here. You know, at first I sort of thought this would be stunt food, but it actually tastes fantastic. Those flavor combinations just work together. My one thing is, deep frying Wagyu is just never necessary. So instead of S or A tier, it's gonna get a very respectable B. We have arrived at the highest viewed YouTube cooking video I could possibly find. 470 million views, and it's from the usual suspects. Time to see Chef Rush and Albert do their thing. Whoa! Aggressive, I like it. What is up with Albert and butter? I would not want Chef Rush yelling at me. There's a lot going on in that video, but first step, I gotta call my ostrich egg dealer. Sophia, do we have an ostrich egg dealer?
We'll find one.
Hey, someone call the ostrich dealer? I got you meat, I got you egg, what do you want?
I'll go with the egg today.
Good choice. Payment.
Now the first thing Chef Rush does is break this with his hand. Something tells me this is not gonna work for me. Wow, that was very stupid. Oh, okay, we're using a hammer. Oh. Yeah, there may or may not be some shards in our omelet. Whoa, that is huge. Sheesh. Now we'll scramble this singular giant egg and we'll get it on the heat. Butter. It's coming together really nicely here. Add in the green onion, good amount of salt. Big egg, big black pepper. Let's see what ostrich egg tastes like. Wow, tastes like a normal egg. Down with all that egg, sauce. This stuff actually smells so good. Cheese. And of course, gotta get it melty. Just an absurd amount of bacon. Tater thoughts. Whew, hot tater thoughts. Avocado. Gotta check out that cross section. This looks phenomenal. Very solid work, Albert and Chef Rush. That is an amazing breakfast burrito. I am so close to putting this in the A tier, but compared to the other ones, I think it's just barely lacking. And with the skyrocket in my cholesterol, this deserves a B. With 2 viral dishes ending up in the A category, there is only one way to settle this. Intern Thomas. Welcome back, Thomas. Please taste dish number 1.
All right, so this thing is in a giant wheel of Parmesan.
That's a lot.
That might be some of the best pasta I've ever had. What's different about it?
Is in a giant wheel of Parmesan. No shit. And I've seen how much you like to eat fried chicken sandwiches. Moving on to dish number 2.
Yeah, these are my specialty, so I will have some harsh words or strong compliments if it's good. Oh man, yeah, that's also the best chicken sandwich I've ever had.
All right, so which one reigns supreme?
Due to the presentation, I mean, how often do you see this ever? Like the pasta has to win for me.
There it is, guys. Nick wins the battle today. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we'll see you next time.
Chili, chili. Chili dog, yeah.